It is Friday, August 29th, 2025. Thank you for being here. I'm meteorologist Brian Shields. This overnight, Grand Cayman, again, big storms are on. We had some big storms yesterday in other spots as well, from the Cayman Islands, Antigua, Barbuda, overnight in Trinidad and Tobago. We had some rain, so an active pattern. And as we look ahead, it is more likely that Gabrielle is going to form out there in the Atlantic. So I want to track that in this video, and that's what we'll be tracking together as we go throughout the weekend. Taking a look at what we have right now, you see this blob of rain, some of these bigger clouds that rolled by St. Vincent and Grenadines, Grenada, Trinidad and Tobago overnight, northern sections, northeastern sections of Venezuela with rain, and then you see from the Bahamas south through Cuba, Cayman Islands, parts of Jamaica yesterday, and even today we could get a couple storms, but back through Central America, scattered areas of rain, and we'll get a couple popping up as well. Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, Haiti, some isolated stuff, but hit or miss showers and storms on the move. So watching this, we'll zoom into this, but as we swing back through the tropical Atlantic, we have one blob here, but there is still some dust and dry air around it. So I'm not seeing much development out of this, but we're going to see another tropical wave about to move off the coast of Africa this weekend. That is the one that is more likely to develop and to develop into a tropical depression or tropical storm. So the American model has this wave developing into a tropical storm. The European model, at least a tropical depression. Canadian model doesn't have a whole lot with it. And the ICON model also has this becoming a tropical storm. So a tropical wave about to move off, another one this weekend as we work our way into Saturday night and early Sunday. And it does look like that one will try to develop. Now, where it goes, we'll talk about that in just a moment. So getting a look at the Atlantic Basin, the Gulf, Caribbean, and the Atlantic, you see this spot here. This is the European model showing about a 60% chance of a tropical depression forming. These colorings in here, it always paints something in the Southern Caribbean. Nothing's going to develop south here, but it's picking up on the thunderstorm activity that'll move back toward the Eastern Pacific, but also keeping an eye on the Bahamas, back through Florida, southeast coast of the United States. A slight chance of a little development in here, most likely. That is not tropical in nature, but take a look at this. Let's break this down, and then I want to show you the wind. So here we are in the Caribbean, Barbados, St. Lucia, Dominica, Antigua, Barbuda. Here's one spot we're watching some extra rain, but it's really the second area back behind it by Sunday. You see by Sunday, Cabo Verde, watching some rain, storms nearby. This is going to come off and really have a spin, pretty healthy spin right away, and that's why I do expect this to develop. Conditions will be conducive for some development. Now, as we work our way into early next week, Monday and Tuesday in particular, Cabo Verde, Southern Islands, better chance of getting some heavier weather and a flood potential out of this. And then going out in time here, this is deeper into next week. This is a week from now, and you see it right here. This is the American model, but very similar to the European model and the ICON German model, showing some sort of tropical depression or tropical storm in the Atlantic. If it gets a name, again, Gabrielle is the next name. And then back behind it, we'll be watching more tropical waves moving off, and it looks to be more active as we go through September, which only makes sense because it is the peak of hurricane season. Now, what happens with this? Well, sometimes things that develop earlier do have a better chance of curving a bit earlier, which would be good news for us, no doubt. We don't wish a storm on anyone. With that said, it is so far out there. We'll see if high pressure is in control above it. If high pressure is in control, that would act like a blocker, allow this to go a little bit more to the west. But if high pressure is not dominant, if that fence is not there, that would allow this to make a curve. But this is what we'll be tracking together in upcoming videos to see if it's going to develop, and I will give you the early heads up on where it will go. And you can kind of see the development here. Here we are again in the Caribbean. This is the wind tracker and a bit of a spin coming off on Sunday. And then as we work our way, see it right here, as we work our way into Wednesday of next week, Thursday, Friday, there it is, developing into a tropical depression or tropical storm. Really hoping this one makes that early curve as we work our way deeper into next week. But you see something trying to develop. And if that's the next spot that develops, Gabrielle is the next name on the list. We're getting down the list now. Fernan, that has fallen apart, the remnants of it, up toward Europe. Gabrielle, the next name on the list, then Umberto, Imelda, Jerry, Karen, Lorenzo, Melissa, as we work our way down the list. Hurricane season, of course, goes through the end of November. Now, tracking some of the storms here, I want to take you to some different spots. This is back to today. Showed you some of those scenes back through Grand Cayman, but elsewhere, hit or miss showers and storms. Some of us completely dry, but others getting the thunder and lightning, right, and getting dumped on. One island, we could be dry. Another one, not a whole lot. Same thing back through Central America. Some pockets of flooding possible. El Salvador, Honduras, Nicaragua, and then back through the Bahamas, Cuba, Haiti, and the DR. Scattered areas of rain. Better chance northern Bahamas through the weekend of seeing some showers, seeing some of that flooding possible. Central America, and hit or miss for us, Guadalupe, Dominica, St. Martin, St. Bart's, kind of hit or miss areas of rain back through St. Croix and Tortola. But once again on Sunday, you see some of that additional rain back through the Bahamas south, from Cuba back through Haiti, Jamaica, hit or miss shower or storm over the next few days. Now, lifting to the north, watching out for the possibility of some development near the southeast coast of the United States. But for the most part, all of that energy continues to get lifted up to the north, lifts to the north. So I'm not really seeing much in the way of tropical activity, but southeast U.S., Bahamas, as I mentioned, better chance of some of the rain, watching some of the rain back toward the Rocky Mountains and Plains. But you see that area clipping by as we work our way into Saturday, Newfoundland, back toward the Avalon Peninsula, more active in the Atlantic region of Canada. And here's that spot we're watching back through the Bahamas, watching Florida for some additional rain. And here's that up and around pattern. Texas, by the way, some big storms possible with the possibility of flooding as we work our way into this weekend, just with that flow around, very active. And then you see here by Sunday, here are some of those spots watching near the eastern seaboard of the U.S. and Bermuda for a better chance of rain. Not really tropical in nature, but that will be trying to lift to the north. So several areas that I'm keeping an eye on, in particular, the thunderstorms we have in the Caribbean and that area off the coast of Africa, and then monitoring some of the flooding in other spots like Texas, keeping an eye on the northern Bahamas. Now, looking at the seas just going through the weekend, this is Sunday into Monday, you see things building eastern seaboard, but nothing too crazy. Just be mindful if you're on the waters for that potential of some lightning if you happen to get caught in some of the storms. Don't want that to happen. Now, watching the rain, northern and central Bahamas, that's where we'll get some spots around 75 millimeters of rain or 3 inches of rain the next 2 days. South Florida as well. There could be some big time rain amounts, 4 or 5 inches of rain with the possibility of a lot of standing water around. Scattered about Cuba, hit or miss Cayman Islands and Jamaica, Haiti and the DR. We could get some bigger storms that allow that runoff to happen. We could see over 100 millimeters of rain in particular in the Dominican Republic. That'll lead to some dangerous rivers in some spots. Monitor those river crossings. Hit or miss Puerto Rico, U.S. and British Virgin Islands, Anguilla, Antigua, Barbuda. Again, a passing shower. Some of us will get some showers and storms. Others, not a whole lot. Trinidad and Tobago, a little bit more of some of that moisture kind of feeding in. We'll have some spots over the next 3 days, over 50 millimeters of rain, but still monitoring even a chance of a thunderstorm. St. Lucia, Barbados, St. Vincent the Grenadines, Grenada the next few days. Northeastern Venezuela, watching Guyana, interior Guyana, watching out for some increased rain as well back through Suriname. Higher totals, Guatemala, El Salvador in here, back through parts of Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama. I've been watching your comments, monitoring that flooding with you. Belize, it's going to be scattered about over the next few days. Mexico City swinging up, watching out for these totals. And this is what I was talking about through Texas. Some big totals, giving you that heads up as we go throughout the weekend. At times with those thunderstorms, there's going to be some dangerous runoff and a flood potential in here. So heads up and really pick your spot. Other than South Texas, there's going to be that flood potential, even parts of South Texas, but a little bit more so to the north back through Louisiana. So heads up here for the potential of some flooding and quick runoff and river rises, and then watching out for some of the rain back through the southeast U.S. with those thunderstorms around primarily afternoon and evening. So Jamaica, we have a 30% chance today, 40% chance for tomorrow. Same thing in the Cayman Islands, hit or miss, but like last night, we could get a couple thunderstorms around. 40 to 50% chance as we go through the weekend. Today, a 40% chance, Trinidad and Tobago. Tomorrow, we're looking at about a 50% chance. Rain chance, Barbados, staying on the low side, but that doesn't mean we're not going to see a shower passing by this weekend. Same thing in St. Lucia. Today, tomorrow, and Sunday, we're looking at a 30% chance of an isolated shower. Grenada, rain chance about 40%. Some scattered areas of rain. We have that rain I've been tracking with you overnight that has been nearby. St. Vincent the Grenadines, especially southern islands, better chance of getting some passing showers. Rain chance about 20 to 30% as a whole, but a little bit higher to the south. Martinica, 40% chance today and a 30% chance for tomorrow. Dominica, 40% chance of some scattered showers. Can't rule out a rumble of thunder as we swing through the weekend. Guadalupe, rain chance holding at 30% the next 3 days. And we'll get back to Antigua Barbuda. See how the rain chance is not too high, but this is a good sampling. Like yesterday, if we get a thunderstorm, it could be on the strong side, and we do that again. St. Kitts, Nevis, and Montserrat, 30% chance today, 20% chance tomorrow, 30% chance on Sunday. But we'll see a few showers and storms that will be around Anguilla and St. Bart. Same thing through the weekend. Small rain chance as a whole, but a couple of these storms could pack a punch. St. Martin, Sabin, Statia, 30% chance for today and a 20% chance for tomorrow. And we swing back through Puerto Rico. A couple of the storms today could be strong, so heads up in Puerto Rico. Scattered thunderstorms even into the weekend. We'll monitor some areas of flooding, may lead to a few power outages in spots. 20 to 30% chance British and U.S. Virgin Islands. Passing showers around, keeping an eye out for some of that lightning. Bahamas, northern Bahamas, that's where the rain chance is higher right through the entire weekend. The rain chance is only going to get higher, so heads up. Active pattern northern and parts of the central Bahamas. Turks and Caicos isolated, 20 to 30% chance. Across the DR, 40 to 50% chance, but I mentioned that flooding. We're going to see some of that runoff, watching the rivers, and that will include Haiti. 40% chance of some thunderstorms today, 30% chance tomorrow, and a 40% chance on Sunday. Rain chance 30 to 40% chance in Belize, favoring southern sections, so some scattered to isolated showers and a couple thunderstorms through the weekend. Aruba, meanwhile, Curacao and Bonaire, rain chance not super high, but a little bump up in that. I want to keep an eye on some of that moisture that's been pulling through parts of Trinidad and Tobago and Grenada to see how that kind of feeds in. Curacao and Bonaire, rain chance a little higher. We may even get a couple showers tonight. Guyana, the rain chance back up to 50% and a 40 to 50% chance in Suriname. Suriname favoring northern sections closer to the water. Scattered storms in Cuba the next several days. Some of those will be strong, even a slight risk of a brief tornado in Cuba with some of the storms. 70 to 80% chance of rain. Costa Rica, Panama, I'll be watching your comments throughout the day. 50% chance in Nicaragua, so staying active through the weekend. And about a 40 to 50% chance in Honduras. Some of us dealing with the flooding, others not a lot. So just a heads up, active pattern around, but it is going to be different from location to location. Guatemala and El Salvador in particular, a high chance of rain for today. And you see Mexico City, it's going to be building by Sunday, where it will be up to about a 60% chance. 50% chance of some scattered showers possible. Merida back through Cancun the next few days. Yucatan Peninsula, Mexico, some scattered areas of rain. Northern Colombia, 50 to 60% chance, and about a 50% chance as we work our way back through northern Venezuela. Bermuda, these fronts nearby, so at times we're going to see some rain and even the possibility of some downpours and some lightning at times as we work our way through the weekend. So those scattered areas of rain and storms, watching that through the weekend. And then this weekend, we'll see that strong tropical wave coming off the coast of Africa. Development with it is likely. We have plenty of time to watch it, though, kind of monitor where it will go together. The next name on the list is Gabrielle. So thank you for taking time to subscribe to this channel, being part of this weather community. I hope you have a good Friday ahead.